Welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to discuss this another problem of LeetCode. So this is the premium question in SQL. The problem number is 578. It is a medium category problem and the name of the problem is get highest answer rate question, right? So as I have discussed in our previous video also, so in order to find all the LeetCode premium SQL interview question, you can check out this website. So this website has been built by one of my friend where you can find all the LeetCode SQL premium questions, right? Okay, so in this problem basically we have been given one table where we have these columns, basically 6 columns, where we have the logs of the user. Like this is the basically the logs of any of the coding platform, right? So we go to the platform, we show up the question, we answer the question, or either we skip the question, and we have the question ID, answer ID, question number, timestamp. So here if you see, here we have the answer ID because this user, the ID column is nothing but the user ID. User has answered this question, so that's why we have the answer ID. And for the other, since we just like this user has just showed up the question, so it is like the answer ID is null for the other 3 record, and this is the question number and this is the timestamp basically, right? And in the output we just need only one record, right? That we will see what this one record mean is. So let's read out the problem statement. The answer rate for the question is the number of times the user answered the question by the number of time user showed the question. Okay, so we need let me write the formula. Basically, number of times answered divided by number of times showed, and this at which level? We need at question level. So for each and every question we need the number of time the like all the user has answered the question to the number of time they have showed the question, right? So this ratio basically which we need. Write a solution to report the question that has the highest answer rate. Okay, so basically if you see here in the output we just have only one record, right? So this is basically the highest answer rate question. Okay, if the multiple question have the same maximum answer rate, or report the question with the smallest question ID. Okay, so if we have the multiple question with the same highest rate, let's say 1 2 3, these are the questions, and for here answer rate is 100, here answer rate is 100, and here answer rate is 90. For these two record answer rate is same, but like which one to select basically. So in this case we need to select the question with the smallest answer rate. So basically we need to select ID1. So this would be the answer in this scenario, right? Okay, now let's see how we can approach this problem. So if you see here, we need the number of time answered divided by number of time showed, that is number of time. So this what this says is we need to find the count, right? We need to find the count, and everything is at the question level, so we need to group by the data on the question level, right? So what we can do is okay, before we discuss the approach, we can see how we are getting 285. Okay, right? So if we see here in this input table, we have only 2 questions, that is question number 1 and question number 2. For question number 1 we have 2 record, that is like this user. So ID column is nothing but the user who has attempted to solve this problem. So this user, once like it showed up the question, right? Basically we can say that the user viewed the question and then user answered the question, right? So the number of time viewed and answer is what? 1 divided by 1, that is 100%, right? Like user just showed up the question and answered the question, so it is 100, right? And for the next one, okay, let me write for this one 285. This question, the rate is basically 100 for 369. Let's see the like the rate basically. So for this one, if you see answer like question was viewed but it was not answered, it was just skipped. So like the number of time the user answered is 0 divided by number of time the like the question was viewed is 1, so it is nothing but 0. So here we have 0. So what is the highest over here? Highest is 285. That's why here we have in the output 285, right? I hope you got like how we can approach this problem basically by this explanation. So what we need to do is we need to group by the data, group by on question ID, right? And then we need to find the count of what? Count of number of time viewed or we can say that sort, and number of time answer, right? And then once we have these two, we can just take the ratio of this. So we can have the ratio of answer divided by the number of short. And to find the sort and this, so basically we can make use of this action column using the case when statement and just put in the summation or the sum aggregate function, right? To find this answer. And to tackle the second part of the problem, basically this one, so if we have the multiple people with this multiple question with the same answer rate, so for that one basically we can generate the dense rank. So for here, if you see the dense rank, what would be the dense rank? So here it would be like for this one, and then again we have the same. So basically we can generate the dense rank and take the like the question with the smallest id basically, right? So let's jump to the dweaver and write the code for this one. Okay, now here we can see that this is the input table, basically the same table which I showed. Now as we discussed, we need to do the group by and then find the count. So we can start, so we can write select from, I will write the solution very quickly, right? We need to do what? We need to do group by on basically the question ID. Why question ID? Because we need to do everything at the question level. So we can write question ID, and here we can have basically the question ID. You can just copy here. Okay, now the next part start, that is finding the count. So we can write case when this action, we don't bother about the skip one, right? We just bother about the so and answer. So whenever it is so, then we need to take 1, else 0. So right, and as so flag, like we will club this into the summation basically, right? But before that we'll see like this. Here we can write answer, here we can say answer, right? So let's run till this part only, right? And take action also to explain you clearly, right? Let's run this without group by. Okay, we are getting syntax error. Okay, we should have comma over here. Acha, this should be then. Okay, now if you see like the so flag, what it says, so here action is so, right? So that's why we have over here 1. Here action is answer, so here we have 1, here we have 0. Same way for the other records, right? And this is skip, right? So for both of these we have 0. Now we want the sum, right? We don't want the flag like this. So we know that, like using the case when statement inside the aggregate function. So we can put inside the sum like this, and we are already grouping the data. So now this should work, and since we are not grouping the data on action, so this should be removed. Now let's run. Okay, now if you can see the ratio, basically we can find after this. So for this one, the total number of time the users has viewed is 1, and answer is 1. And so the same for this one, the viewed count is 1 and answer count is 0, that we saw over here also, right? For this one, answer count is 0. Now instead of writing flag, this we can write as count. We can run this again. Okay, and this we can put in the CTE. We can like find the ratio over here itself, but for sake of simplicity we can like find this in the next step. So we can write select from CTE. Okay, now let's select everything and then we know we want to find the ratio of answer divided by so, right? This is what we need. Let's read the question again, or I think I have written over here also. So the answer rate of the question is the number of time the user answer the question by the number of time user solved the question, right? So we need answer count. Okay, we can copy from here. Answer count divided by short count, right? We can write as answer rate, right? So let's run this. Okay, now if you see here, 1 divided by 1 we got 1, and here we got 1 divided by like 0 divided by 1 we got 0, right? But if you see, this is integer by integer division, right? So what we can do over here is to remove that issue of getting 0 over here, we can have it 1 in like multiply, we can multiply it by 1.0 to avoid that error. Okay, now we got our answer, right? Okay, and we can basically put this to the 2 decimal places. So for that we can just put this in the round, so we can round 2, and we can run this again. Okay, the same answer, right? Now we have find the this also, so we can write, okay, this should be answer rate. Okay, this we can put in the CT answer rate CT as, and now we can write in the next statement, select from answer rate CT. Okay, we got everything, and now in the output we need the question with the highest answer rate, so we just need to do the ranking basically. So we can use the dense rank over, so we can write order by, so we need everything at the answer rate. So for the like for whichever question we have the highest answer rate, that should be there, and if there is a tie, then we need on like I don't remember what was there, write the okay, highest answer rate. If the multiple question have the same maximum answer, report the question with the smallest question ID. Okay, so we need the on question ID, right? And this should be in the descending, right, because we need for the highest one, and this should be in the ascending, so we can write as RNK. So basically this is what we were discussing. So the rank of this would be 1, and for this one also we would be having 1, and for this one we will be having 2. So out of this, like 1 and 2, question number 1 and 2, we got 1 and 1 rank, but out of this also we need to select the question with the least question ID, so the one would be answer over here. The same way we will do over here also. So since we don't have much data over here, so we can simply say that this is the answer, but what if there is a more data and we get the tie in the answer rate? So in that question, in that sense, for that particular data, our solution should work, right? So now it is simple, so we can just put this in the CT, so we can write final CT as, we can write select from final CT where RNK equal to 1, right? First let's select everything, so here we are selecting everything. Now we should get only one record, and out of this, like for our answer, we just need question ID, so we can write question ID and run this. Okay, I think we got our desired output. So yes, if you like this content, please do like, subscribe and share the channel. Let's meet in the next problem.